Welcome once again to Around the Conference. I'm your host, Paul Scavella. It's always a privilege to be able to be allowed into your homes and to give God thanks for so many blessings that He bestows upon us. You know that marriage is certainly a very vital and significant entity of the lives of so many people. As a matter of fact, it was designed by God so that God could manifest through the home the characteristics of His character. And so today we're going to be talking about winning your marriage. And joining me on the program today are two excited and exciting guests as they will unfold for us a number of issues, a number of concepts, and talk about a very special program. Pastor Peter Joseph, who is presently studying for his doctoral degree, and Lady Patrice Williams Gordon. Welcome to Around the Conference.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you,
Pastor Joseph.
Yes.
We're delighted to be able to talk with both of you today.
Yes.
And you serve as the Family Life Director for our conference.
Certainly.
And over the past few years, you have brought to our consciousness this program highlighted by the theme, Winning Your Marriage. And I keep hearing about it in recent times because I think we're moving again near to another event.
Yes.
But before we get to the event, tell us a little bit about this whole design that God has created for us, and what was His intention in doing so?
Right. Winning your marriage for us is more like the process of sanctification, right? We believe that marriage is a process and it has ups and downs. We also believe that marriage is not just lived on the surface, but marriage is lived in the deeper levels of our emotions and spirituality. And so we provide practical tools for people to dig away from the surface, get to the depth of their marriage, so that they could live lives in their marriages that are not hypocritical. Yeah. And people understand that there is no perfect marriage. A marriage is on a journey, and that's why we believe is a sanctification process. We call it winning your marriage, but you never win your marriage in a moment.
Yes.
It's the work of a lifetime.
Yeah. And that's important for our viewers to understand, that the whole concept of sanctification. I think if we understand that a little bit more, many of us will not have the kind of expectations that we have that sometimes fall below, and then we end up being disappointed.
Precisely. Precisely.
I would like to even go a little further by saying maybe the wedding itself is like the justification.
Yes, yes, that's a good theme. That's a good theme.
And then the sanctification, that growth process.
Yes, yes.
Patrice?
Yes. Additionally, I'd like to also suggest that once you're married, you're either winning or losing your marriage.
Okay.
There is really no point at which you draw. You're either winning or losing your marriage. And someone may ask, well, does that then suggest that if I am not headed for divorce, that I'm definitely winning my marriage? And I'd say no, because there are so many people who retire in their marriages. That is, they age, but then they become brothers and sisters. The love, it's no longer a marriage, it's a relationship, but it's not a marriage. And so you have lost your marriage. What God intended to be manifested as a oneness is not seen there. And so you may not be fighting, you may not be quarreling, you may not be headed to the divorce court, but you may be losing your marriage. Winning your marriage is an active process.
Yes.
It's something that you have got to be deliberate about, recognizing that there are things I've got to do every day if I'm going to be winning my marriage. And you can take the temperature every day. Every day you can look to see, what did my actions result in today? Did I have a winning experience, or am I losing my marriage?
Pastor Joseph, you used three prefixes earlier in our discussion.
Yes.
That brings out that point.
Very good.
Some people are in
their marriage.
Uh-huh.
Some people are in the marriage, some people are for the marriage, and some people are with the marriage. In the marriage, people just tolerate, really, just tolerate one another. There is a lot of inflexibility and rigidity and so on. Not much conversation. For the marriage, you have a little improvement, a little more conversation. But the fact is, when you're for the marriage, what you do is that you make decisions on your own, believing that the decision is going to be helpful. So you will go and buy a car for your spouse. Never ask her if she likes cars, if you need cars. But you're for the marriage. But when you're with the marriage now, there's a lot of flexibility. There's a lot of conversation. There is a lot of safety, so people can say what's on their mind. They can share their ideas, share their opinions, and they don't feel like they're going to get into any trouble. So with the marriage is always
That's
a
where
better
you
place to be. You need to be
towards.
with the marriage.
Now, sometimes people who might be in the marriage or they might be for the marriage, they might become discouraged. But when we think about the whole process of sanctification, it's a daily growth process. And as you rightly mentioned, Sister Gordon, that at that point, we have to stop and do some evaluation and see whether the activities and the things that we engage in are either building or tearing down. And so there needs to be this constant engagement. Constant engagement. Some people,
and that's why the with that preposition is so important, right? Because it takes you on a journey together. Right. That's why it's so valuable.
Now, when we look at the statistics today, could be another frightening situation, because what we see happening in the world is almost being reflected in the church. And some people, and you can share with me, both of you, on this matter, some people feel that when they have to, or they're invited to go to a function or an activity like winning your marriage, it's for people who have problems. How do you help people to understand that the biggest room in the world is the room for improvement, and not necessarily that you're in for a doctor's checkup, or you're going to be diagnosed with some incurable disease, and that it's important for us to do some maintenance from time to time?
There is this feeling that ignorance is bliss. And a lot of people, married people, remain there thinking that, well, if I don't go to check up on it, then I won't know and it will be okay.
Right.
Some people are scared of functions like this because they figure that everything is okay. If it's working, don't fix it. And if I go to a function like this, someone may say something that opens my spouse's eye to the deficiencies that I have, and therefore disturb the status quo of where we're at. But as you said, the greatest room is the room for improvement. And if you believe as a couple that you have reached the pinnacle of what your marriage can give you, then you don't understand the God who gave you the marriage. Because where God wants to take us, eyes have not seen. We can't imagine where God wants to take you. So wherever you are in your marriage now, you can always go further. In my personal experience, I think one of the best things that happened in my marriage was that we started attending marriage enrichment retreats from about our second year in marriage. And how it helped me, there were things that I thought were downhill, that annoyed me as a young married woman, that I thought was downhill. Going to the retreat and hearing someone else say the very same thing made me so much more tolerant, because I realized it wasn't downhill, it was a man thing. And there were things that my husband started doing that he never thought about until we got in a friendly environment where people were free to share and to learn. People from professionals from outside who gave you a different perspective of what you thought you knew, and you realized how much more you can grow.
So it's like iron sharpening
It's iron sharpening
Right.
iron. It's a mirror. You're looking in and seeing where you are, but you're also being challenged to be better. And sometimes, too, you're seeing where you are and realizing that you're better than you thought you were.
Okay.
So
Right.
it's affirming.
And the matter of being, or you could say, be your neighbor's
Keeper.
right? Because if you have a strong marriage and you come to an event like Winning Your Marriage, you're in a position to help.
Right.
So it's like those who are strong restore the weak. So Winning Your Marriage conference is really for everybody.
Yes.
You see.
And if I can add too, it is a safe environment that you don't find just off the road. It is a unique environment where you have couples who have like-minded interests, Christian couples who are dedicated to each other and to God in an environment that stimulates this growth. You go to church and there are several other agendas. The only agenda of this conference is to give you the tools to win your marriage.
Right.
And therefore you will feel warmer, closer, more loving, challenged, motivated, and inspired.
Right, and some marriages, Pastor, that people feel satisfied with, right? Like, okay, it's perfect. It doesn't need like enrichment. Are really marriages that have a form. It's like a form of godliness. Some people are just living their marriages on the surface, right? And until
Just
they
in the
come,
marriage.
yeah, right. Until they're in the marriage, until they come to an event like Winning Your Marriage, and then their eyes are open and they go deeper. She was saying they go deeper. Then they begin to understand. Hey, we've been missing a lot.
Yeah, I remember this was for those who were married for 30 years and over. And one of the activities that I led out in, the man just knelt there crying. And I'm like, I was wondering what happened. He said he had never touched his wife's toes before.
My Lord.
And they were married for over 35
shoulders.
years.
Wow.
And they had, it just was not something that he thought was
Yeah, it was-
necessary.
yes, yes,
and
yes,
and
yes.
as he knelt there
Yeah,
and
he cried.
he massaged her toes and lotion,
nice.
he was moved to tears.
Yes.
He'd never done it before and he never knew what he was missing.
Yeah. Well, our audience is not going to know what they're missing until they come to the Winning Your Marriage
Precisely.
program. So we want to invite you to call the conference office, and you can still register at the office.
Yes.
The online registration is closed,
Yes.
but you can call here at 341-4021 and still get involved in Winning Your Marriage. Now, we're going to take a break right now, and on the other side of this program, we're going to talk a little bit about some of the qualities or
Yes.
some of the elements
Yes.
that contribute to helping us win. Give it a little foretaste
Yes.
of some of the things that we're going to be experiencing. So don't go away. We thank you for being here with us. Pastor Peter Joseph, Mrs. Patrice Williams Gordon is here with us on the program, and we're going to be right back. And so we want you to be back with us so that we can win
Yes.
your marriage.
Amen.
Join us on November 10th through 12th, 2017 at the Malia Hotel and Resort for Winning Your Marriage Conference. Guest presenters include Dr. Raymond and Marie Ostrander from Andrews University in Bering Springs, Michigan, and Pastor Levi Johnson, Central Jamaica Conference President. Visit www.winningyourmarriage.com or call the South Bahamas Conference Office for more information.
Welcome once again to Around the Conference. I'm your host, Paul Scavella, and joining me on the program today is Pastor Peter Joseph and Mrs. Patrice Williams Gordon, who is here with us today, and we're talking about winning your marriage. The Bible talks about marriage as a gift from God. As a matter of fact, it's one of the first gifts that He gave to mankind. In the book of Ephesians, chapter 5, there are some principles and guidelines there. Of course, in other parts of the Bible, in Genesis chapter 2, There's so many principles
Precisely.
that God talks about. What do you think are some of the important principles or elements of marriage that would help us to win?
Yeah, I think as we were talking backstage, if you look at friendship, you look at forgiveness, you look at proper management of finance, you look at fun, flexibility. These are all good F words. And these are important metrics. When you look at them in marriages, they score highly for marriages that are really doing well.
Yeah.
And so this is why winning your marriage is going to be focusing quite a bit on these areas.
Do these things just come like by osmosis?
And that's it. Everyone comes into a marriage when you become one.
Yeah.
It's that you become one, which means that you didn't start out being one.
No, it's a process.
And you come from different backgrounds, because hopefully you have not married your brother or your sister.
Okay.
So you're coming from different backgrounds, different mindsets, different preparations.
Yeah.
And you're forming a unique bond where these features that Pastor Joseph spoke of will have to now become a reality in a new setting. We've now got to decide, okay, what's our principle as far as financing is concerned? What is your understanding of flexibility? How do you relate to friendships within and without the marriage? Can we be friends? What is your interpretation of friendship? So within the context of your marriage, each of these terms will take on a different face.
Yeah.
And with God and only with God, as you cleave together with your own juices, can you make this work?
Precisely.
Pastor Joseph, you're not by yourself in this undertaking.
No, I can't do that on my own. We have a winning the marriage team, and two of us are part of the team. And it's a dynamic team, number of men, number of women, and all married folk, really. And the truth is, it has a quality in it that I like. You have people who have experienced divorce and so on. So you have experiences in that team that really helps us to reach out to marriages across the spectrum.
Yeah. And the whole purpose is to help people to really do just that.
Precisely,
Yeah.
precisely.
And this is intentional because, you know, the average couple who gets married today, I think statistics show that 1 out of every 3 of them on the very low end end up in divorce.
Yeah,
and in some cases 50%.
It's rough. Last year, 2 years ago, we were looking at some statistics. I didn't check it this year about divorce in the Bahamas, which was this, I think it was the second next to Cuba in the Caribbean.
Wow.
Right. So I think that's.
Are we
what
living
have.
in a disposable age?
Yeah.
You're living in a disposable age.
It's
You now
disposed.
get to the point where when you see a friend you haven't seen for a long time, you are hesitant to ask for their spouse
Yeah.
because they'll ask you which one. You know, that's where we've gotten.
Yeah, it's a lot.
That's where we've gotten.
It's
It
a
is-
bad situation. Yeah.
It's almost fashionable.
Permanence is gone.
It is, yes.
Yeah.
It's almost
Permanence is
fashionable to have been married.
Yeah.
You
We
know,
replace permanence with disposableness.
Right.
Yes,
If that's a word.
No, that's right.
and so
Yes,
with
yes,
winning
yes.
your marriage, we recognize that it has to be intentional. You have got to want this thing to work. You have got to be open to learning how it happens and working on it.
Right, and be willing to invest in it, because we say to people, if you think winning your marriage is expensive, try losing it. You know, people must be willing to invest in their marriages.
Yeah.
Or else, as she says, the culture of disposability could just come in, and you don't know where it is, because marriages and family go through stages.
Yes.
Some people get to midlife and they don't even know what's happening to them.
That's right.
Right? So it's important
Now,
that
who do
we
you
work
have
together.
coming. I saw a flyer.
Right.
But actually, there are two activities.
Right, there are two activities. So
There's
the road
a
now.
road.
Yes,
There's
yes,
a
the
road to
Winning
the
Your
major
Marriage.
There's
event.
a what?
A road.
There's a road.
A
See,
road.
you could
You
see
mean
we
like
work
Tonic
as a
Darling
team
Williams
now.
Highway?
Yeah, the road to
Almost.
Winning Your Marriage.
So tell us a little bit about this road.
Okay, so the road now
Is it a
begins-
highway or byway?
Yeah, it's what kind of way?
It's
is
a
it?
highway.
It's
It
a
really is a highway. There's just so
Okay,
much
it's a
happening on
highway.
this road.
Okay, it's a highway.
Share some of the
Okay.
things that are
So
going
The next major
October
stop coming up.
28th, yeah, October 28th, which is next week, not this Saturday night, the following Saturday night, right here on the grounds,
of South Bahamas Conference?
Yeah, we will have an event that we caption fun and laughter for your marriage. Fun and laughter for your marriage. And we're also inviting, I think, engaged couples to
Engaged
this
couples
one.
are
Yeah,
also
so
invited.
fun and laughter for your marriage. And we have a featured guest, one of your friends. Maybe you could call a name for me.
I think I saw something with a fellow by the name of Chikozi.
Yeah.
Cozy
And they call
Ijuma.
him they call him Gozi,
Gozi,
right?
yeah.
Right. So he's gonna bring a lot of fun.
Boy, I
and
tell ya.
we're inviting all couples, and you have free refreshment.
Yes, light refreshments will be served.
Yeah, free.
So,
Free.
and there'll be lots of excitement. There will be prizes and giveaways. Those who have not yet registered for the conference, you for the retreat, which comes up in 2 weeks' time, this is a pit stop. This is an opportunity to
for
get
you to
registered
stop. Yeah.
right
Okay.
here on the night. We will have facilities available for you to do so on the night.
Right. I'm inviting all the couples, but there's one particular couple I'm inviting, and that's PJ and his wife. Right. I'm talking about the PJ that shoots the camera.
You
here.
mean who
That's-
works with us on the
Yeah,
set?
yeah. I want to make sure. So tell him.
Well,
Right,
he'll
that
be
he
there with
needs
the
to be
camera.
And if Michelle is engaged,
Yes, right, and maybe you're right because she's also in media.
If
So
Michelle is
if
engaged.
Michelle is engaged in media, I mean by that
Michelle.
time, yeah, who was in media.
Not your Michelle, because your
no,
Michelle
the
is
Michelle
married.
Green, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
oh, the Green Michelle.
Yeah, if she's engaged
Oh.
by that time, we need her also.
Okay, all right, okay. I'll pass that word on to
Yeah,
them.
yeah. So make
but
sure
it
you
is a
let them
free
know.
event. Lots of times, Christian couples struggle on a Saturday night with entertainment options. And this is a free event, or I should say it's a sponsored event. Someone has paid for it for you. So you will come out, you will enjoy some good music, you will enjoy some activities, you will enjoy each other's company, you will enjoy the company of other married couples, and you will also enjoy some food.
Yeah, and you know, certainly that's important today,
Right.
where you have a wholesome activity
Right.
and a place that you can gather and fellowship one with the other.
Precisely.
So what about the actual marriage retreat now?
Okay,
or
so we're
event?
still on the road. We're
Yes.
still on the road. The
Yeah.
next stop after the 28th is the weekend beginning on the Thursday.
Precisely.
Beginning on the Thursday.
Okay.
On the Thursday, we have a pre-event getting to know you social.
Yes.
And this now is for those who are registered and plan to attend the retreat.
yes.
So this would be November
9th?
9th. That's
November
the
9th,
Thursday.
the
Thursday
Thursday.
night. Yeah,
The
okay.
Thursday night will be our meet and greet. Look out for the details for that. That again is free, or I should say, it's a part of the package that you pay for that entire weekend. So we begin on Thursday night, and then we head to Malia
Okay.
for Friday, Sabbath, and Sunday.
Yeah, we'll be right there, and that's going to be a great time at Malia. We begin the Friday evening, so we'll have our guest speakers on the Friday evening.
So tell us about those guest speakers.
Right, Dr. Ostrander and Marie Ostrander from Andrews University. We expect them to be here. They're in the field of education, and particularly they are very good in this area of family education and so on. So they'll be here. Pastor Levi Johnson, your friend, and my
Central
friend from
Jamaica.
Central Jamaica Conference, he'll be coming in as well to deal with the whole matter of men of prayer and then the power of prayer. So I think it's going to be exciting. Ostrander is going to deal with quite a bit of those good F words that we spoke about.
And I think too, what is exciting about the weekend is that it's not tremendously tight.
Okay.
No.
So there's lots of time for interaction with your spouse, intra and inter. That's between yourself and your spouse, and between different spouses as well.
yeah.
The setting is quite beautiful. There will be, as usual, quite a bit of emphasis on enriching and intimacy, but this year we are including spiritual intimacy. And for some people that spells boring, but you're going to be surprised. You're going to be surprised. We're going to be taking you to the keys to the Song of Solomon. That's spiritual intimacy. Physical intimacy, spiritual intimacy. There'll be lots of goodies for you to take away and goodies for you to enjoy right there.
Yeah. You know, God is so good. And when I think about the fact that He gave to mankind, His creation, this gift of marriage, of intimacy, of relationship, it only makes me want to shout. Because what would we be like without this wonderful gift of relationship, especially at the level of marriage. And so we're just delighted that our Family Life Department is building on this theme, this platform, and we just want to encourage you to consider very seriously your marriage and that gift that God has given to us. I always tell married couples in my little nuggets at the weddings that marriage is like a bank. You make deposits or withdrawals. And this is an opportunity to make a significant deposit into your relationship as a husband and wife at any level of your stage. Well,
I just want to add, Pastor, that the event is not free, but it's subsidized. There is nowhere that you will be able to get what you are promised for this retreat for the small investment that you've been asked to make.
Right, because it's just $100 registration per couple, right? I mean, and you attend all the seminars. You could call the conference right here. You have given the number already, 341-4021, if you want to stay at the hotel, and particularly those who want to eat that Sabbath. Right, we have the arrangements for that.
Yes, they make arrangements. So the $100 is for your registration. That covers your material, the cost of executing the event, your all the events from Thursday onto Sunday. However, if you want to go the best route, and that's enjoying the full package, plan to stay in at the hotel for the weekend. If you can't stay for the entire weekend because of whatever obligations, you can plan to stay for the day on Sabbath and have all your meals taken care of at an additional cost.
Well, you know, time
Flies.
is fleeting, and we're at the point where we have to break and cut off on the program. But we want to thank you for being with us, and we want to congratulate our Family Life Director and Sister Gordon, our special events coordinator who is assisting, and we just give God thanks for the opportunity for us to be able to share and to minister. I just want to remind couples that you might know of another couple that you might be able to influence, whether in the church or outside of the church, that might benefit greatly from this program. So be the leader that God has called you to be and influence somebody to be a part of this event. Thank you for being with us.
Pleasure,
and may
real
God
pleasure.
bless you as you continue to plan.
Yes.
And we pray for the ultimate success
Yes.
of this ministry.
Thank you so much. We're on the road. Yeah.
And for those of you who joined us on our program of Around the Conference, we're just delighted that you consider us valuable enough to turn on the TV and to watch and to embrace that which we share with you from week to week. Remember, God is a God of love. As a matter of fact, He is love. And He wants that love to be expressed to each and every one of you. And one of the greatest ways that He has done it is through giving His own Son to be with us. And He reminds us that we are married to Him and that He's married to us. And He wants us to grow in that relationship with Him. And so as we consider this program, let us remember to pray about it and to make ourselves available to that which God has provided for us. Until next time, may the God of your marriage be the center of your lives, now and for always.
Amen.